in light of all the storms and hurricane, well, not Hurricane Debbie, but of course tropical storm slash, it felt like it, yeah. Businesses and homes are experiencing a lot of electrical disturbances, of course, and you can damage your computer and your other devices. So ABC7's web doc, Peter Martin, is here to talk about the importance of battery backups and surge protectors. If you don't have them, I'm getting the sense that you need them.
You definitely need them, especially with the storms we just had, because all of these electrical devices can be easily damaged. And we talked last week about backing all of your materials up, and then all of a sudden the storm shows up. Kind of interesting timing. But there's a lot of different types of backups out there. But all of these are surge suppressors. A lot of people have things that look like this. I noticed we have a couple of them around the studio, but they do not have any backup capabilities. And they also do not have any surge suppression capabilities. And it's very important because if there's an electrical strike or a power outage, it will affect your computers and all of your electrical devices in the house.
By backup, you don't mean it backs up your data. It just is an extra power source in case the electricity goes out.
Exactly. This one right here is actually it's kind of heavy. It's a power backup. So if you lose power, which a lot of people think, oh, I just lost some power, that's not a real big deal. But it actually is, because when your computers have power fluctuations, whether it be not enough power or losing power automatically or a power surge, you actually damage the circuitry. And eventually, over time, it will degrade the performance of the product.
So how do we know if we need one that has the power backup or just a plain surge protector?
Well, for any devices like a computer or especially your these new TVs, the flat screen TVs, old plasma TVs, you spend a lot of money on those TVs, and those TVs especially need something like this because you don't want them to have power surges. And a matter of fact, a lot of things people don't realize is that you need to actually run your cable box, with the coaxial cable. And this one right here, you can see has the attachments. So you're going to run the cable from the wall to here and then to your TV. Because anything attached to those electrical devices, whether it be a phone line or a coaxial cable, if they get struck by lightning, it is going to travel through that conduit into your device and damage your device.
Oh. When you go into a store, you see the price of these things ranging from like $40 to a couple of $100.
Mm-hmm.
Does the ones that are really expensive have something that the ones that are cheaper don't have? Or how do you know which ones you need? Or
there's a big difference. Little ones like this can cost as little as $12, but you notice there's no place here. It does have for USB, no place for phone or coaxial. These, you can go from something like this for $20 to this for $30, and it's the number of outlets, how many phone lines it has available, to something like this, where this one costs about $90, and there's ones that go up to as high as a couple hundred. The difference is how big the battery is and how long it will keep the power on. Something like this will keep your device powered up for about an hour. So it gives you the time to shut everything down. Because one of the things we talked about last week with data loss is if your computer shuts down automatically, a lot of times you will lose data because the system's been damaged. This will give you the ability, if you do have a power outage, to have the time to go in there and shut down your system. Something like this, when it gets a little more expensive, when you start seeing the additional adapters there, this gives you the ability to actually hook this to your computer. And these do have power-saving systems built in where you can then tie in with your computer and actually manage what the battery does.
Before we go, quickly tell us why you should save the receipt and the box for these things.
Very important to always save the receipt and the box, because all of these devices come with a warranty. And if you are struck by lightning and your system is damaged, your computer is destroyed, your TV is destroyed, you can then go back to the manufacturer, as long as you have the receipt and the box, and say, here's what the damage was, and they will replace it. And it becomes very important. We actually had one time with one of our servers where we got struck by lightning, and the surge suppressor and battery backup did not work, and the insurance company paid us $75,000.
Wow.
Because we lost the server and we lost all the data. And
so it covers the equipment that's protected, not just the battery backup.
Not just the battery backup.
Good deal.
Yeah. It's very important, but you have to have that because they will double check to make sure they want to look at the warranties, and you know how those insurance companies are.
So that's why you need to save every documentation you have.
Exactly.
And thank you, Peter, for being with us. And Peter, our ABC7 web doc, will be joining us every week with new and helpful technology tips. So if you have a question for our web doc, you can email him at webdoc@wwsb.com. All right, thank you, Peter. Very good advice, especially during storm season. Well, Google is showing us a new tablet computer, operating system, and Wi-Fi